That second run, which was better than his first run. His first run was great, but his second run was better.
His second run made
He was clean. He didn't have to be a world champion. He was only world champion one time in his second run. He could put on a 5-star match
with Kazarni.
Yeah.
That's how good he was.
Well, which brings me to my... If I had to pick a Shawn Michaels match, you would almost have to pick one from the first run and one from the second because they were so great matches. But I picked a match from the second run, and it picked against John Cena on Raw. They weren't expected to go 45, 50 minutes.
You're a Cena fan, aren't you?
No. But I just think the Rise Above Hate slogan is a very good slogan. But... now you made me lose my train of thought. Thank you. But it didn't have to be a 45 to 50 minute match because I'm pretty sure Edge and Orton were supposed to fight.
They were. And Orton had gotten in trouble.
And Orton got
wrecking his hotel.
The night before, and he got sent home. So they put the pretty much the rest of the TV time on John Cena and HBK, and they went out there in England and they tore the absolute house down. It should have been the WrestleMania 23 match.
Should have been.
But
the 23 match wasn't.
The 23 match wasn't bad, but
that match is the match they had on Raw.
He's head and shoulders bad as people want to say, but Shawn Michaels made him look like a top tier technical talent.
Oh, definitely.
The match they had on Raw brought Chris Jericho back into the wrestling. Yeah. That's how important that match was, and that cannot be understated. That's how important it was.
And also, you can also say something about Shawn Michaels bringing back stars when Jericho was falling off the map. Until he fought Shawn at 19.
I can believe that.
He won the world title. He lost him to Triple H, and then he just went nowhere.
I do not remember. That definitely would have been my pick if not for me being at 28.
It was like, I mean, for Jericho, when he lost the titles to Triple H, and I don't remember anything that he did between 2002 and the WrestleMania match with Shawn Michaels. I don't remember a thing. I can't recall a single thing. So for Chris Jericho, it was almost a blessing in disguise to lose to Shawn because his career picked back up again. Of course, then he had to go on a feud with Goldberg, but we'll talk about that later too. We'll talk about Jericho and his run.
His first feud with Goldberg.
Yeah, the one in WCW where he never fought him at all. He just got kicked in the gut, and that was the end of it.
He fought Goldberg.
Stupid.
He fought Goldberg. Does nobody remember Fall Brawl 1998? Anyway.
You need to YouTube that match if you haven't watched it.
That's a great spear.
Yeah.
As Tony Schiavone called it,
Jericho can make anybody look good too.
Yep. So,
that brings us to my number one, doesn't it? Which he was just mentioned by Al Borland over there.
I don't think so, Justin.
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, was the greatest technical wrestler ever. I don't care what any of you say. He was the best ever. He should have had Bret Hart's slogan. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. He made that little mullet he had going on look good. I love Mr. Perfect.
No, nothing homosexual about that though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I can say a guy looks good. I'm straight.
Okay, that's good.
I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality to say that our cameraman looks damn good.
Why are you filming just me right now? Okay, I'm just making sure. It's our our photographer John Adkins right now is filming me taking a drink.
Well, anyways,
I've been drinking this the whole show.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We already had the Bret Hart match covered.
Yeah. It's
not a great match. He didn't do much after it, but I loved his return in the Rumble. It turned me into a little 10-year-old kid again.
It's understandable.
They put him in the ring in the Final Four of the Rumble, which used to be a huge thing.
Final Three, actually.
Yeah.
And he worked with the top guys they had at the time. Who was it?
Triple H, Stone Cold, and Kurt Angle.
Yeah. You don't see that nowadays. I mean, you don't see...
you don't see a hacksaw lasting that long.
You don't see Hacksaw Jim Duggan coming back to the Rumble and being in the Final Four, which I would be pissed if that happened.
He's cashing in, man. He's cashing in.
Yeah, he's cashing in his Rumble victory.
Yeah.
In the Royal Rumble again. Let's backtrack that statement.
Okay. We'll back.
Anyways, Kurt Hennig, he didn't do much after that Rumble run, but it showed that he could still do it. That they had tons of respect for him. And it's just sad the way he died, which wasn't like a cocaine overdose. But you would never guess that guy was on cocaine.
No, you wouldn't.
Never. He looked in tremendous shape. I see cokeheads a lot. Mr. Perfect was not a fucking cokehead.
Apparently he was. He died of a cocaine overdose.
It had to be his first try or something. It breaks my heart.
An avid user.
I'm pretty sure he was an avid user. He probably didn't have any nostrils.
I'm in denial, dude.
No offense.
Alright, moving on.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I washed my hands with the whole situation.
After this Bret Hart bash, we're going to go to my number one favorite wrestler of all time, which is Bret the Hitman Hart, who earned the slogan, best there is, best there was, and best there ever
Did he?
will
'Cause
be.
I never heard anybody ever call him that before he started calling himself.
Earned it. I'll tell you why he earned it.
Because he said it first.
WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it at the time.
You can't call it WWF.
Well,
We actually
WWE at the time in 1993 was horrid. Anybody ever watched 93? It's terrible. You know who they had? They had Shawn Michaels as Intercontinental Champion, who was holding his own in the mid-card with guys like Razor Ramon and other guys. But at the top of the ladder...
Tito Santana, need we say more?
That was 92. But anyway...
Close enough.
Bret Hart...
way past his prime. Way past
Bret
his prime.
Hart single-handedly carried the World Wrestling Entertainment Federation, whatever you want to call it. From 1993, he carried it until 1996 by himself. He kept that company afloat by himself.
He wrestled ghosts and everything, by himself.
I have no problem. I mean, other than Montreal, I have no problem with Bret Hart.
Montreal.
But
we'll film that in a minute.
to say that he carried the company on his back when you had people like the Undertaker still there, and you had people like
name a good match the Undertaker had between 1993 and 1996 that was important.
He fought Bret 4 or 5 times in that span of
Yeah,
time.
exactly. I mean, Bret didn't carry him in the matches, but still.
But still, that's
He was
what
there.
drew. I mean, him and Undertaker drew. So.
Other than Bret Hart, his matches with Bret, who did he fight that was worth anything?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying he fought anybody other than that. I'm
Who
just saying
did he fight? He fought himself.
He fought himself.
That
was a big storyline, though, in 1994.
I mean,
that was a pretty
But
cool
anyway...
thing.
It was cool when Undertaker did it. It wasn't cool when Kane did it, but that's a different story.
Anyway,
We'll go to that stuff later, too.
Bret Hart, my all-time favorite wrestler. Just simply the best technical wrestler to ever come out of Canada, to ever come out of the United States.
Owen Hart
To me, Owen was good. But
call himself the best,
Bret Hart could just prove he could go with anybody. He wrestled big guys, he wrestled small guys, he wrestled fast guys, slow guys, technical guys, brawlers. I'll go as far to say maybe we would have had them, but we would not have had the stars as quick. We would not have had Shawn Michaels as quick. We would not have had Stone Cold as quickly as we did without Bret Hart. And I'll go as far to say that. They would have became stars, yes.
Well, he did pave the way for a lot of people.
He did. And he helped push Austin where Austin needed to be. He helped push Shawn Michaels where he needed to be, which leads me to my favorite Bret Hart match of all time, which is the WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match, which went 60 minutes. Well, if you want to count it, 62 minutes, give or take, 61 minutes when they had the overtime period with Shawn Michaels. It was a great match.
It didn't seem like 60 minutes.
It didn't. Those two guys told a story in the ring for an hour that nobody can do. Nobody's been able to recreate that first Iron Man match. And just the technical prowess, the give and take in the ring, just the sure being able to work with somebody to put on a technical match, to go for an hour, the stamina that took, and just the sheer drama of what's going to happen. It was just unprecedented. And it's something that I remember watching. It was the first pay-per-view I remember watching. I'd watched pay-per-views before that. That's the first match I can remember watching and just being in awe of what was going on because it was so good. And I've watched the match at least 20, 30 times. And I still love it every time I watch it.
Well, we can honestly say that the best wrestling matches of all time, most of them have come from WrestleMania.
Mostly, yes.
Most of the best matches of all time come from WrestleMania.
Well,
exactly. But there have been matches that have been, like it's Survivor Series, Alberto Del Rio and CM Punk, for instance.
Great match.
One of the greatest SummerSlam, Survivor Series matches of all time.
And then you have your lower card pay-per-views have even had some good matches.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Money in the Bank. Look at John Cena, CM Punk, Money in the Bank. That was a great match.
Well, even some of the older pay-per-views, the In Your House
pay-per-views always had good stuff.
But we'll talk about that later, too. We're getting sidetracked. But brings me to my number one, which we talked about earlier, The Undertaker. I know a lot of people out there don't like The Undertaker. They think he's just a gimmick. But
it's the single best gimmick WWE has ever
by far.
There's a reason he's went this long with that gimmick. It worked.